Pretty tight one here today. Let's take a look at the indices, and we got an inside day on SPY. If we can get a push higher, then we've immediately invalidated yet another possible topping pattern coming off of a bear trap. So exactly what happened early August we have done here again in early September, right? So bears definitely stepped in. We got a nice little gap down last Tuesday a week ago, and then we had a strong week with a bit of a weak close and indecisive open, I'd say, to this week. So we're going to look for a bit of clarity, right? Do we get continuation or do we get some more sell pressure? I'm leaning more towards a bullish outlook heading into the Fed rate decision on September 17th, right? I think we're going to get a bit of a push into that and maybe a sell the news event and then maybe get back on trend afterwards. And I think we're going to have a strong close to the year, guys. So we are remaining bullish. We are in a strong trend. We are in a strong bull market. Every single dip is getting bought. Okay, so let's ignore the noise, right? All the bear talk out there, and let's read the room. If you don't know, I trade the leaders in a trend backed by growing fundamentals. And we are looking for these types of confirmations, right? Every time we gap down, we see buyers step in and push us back onto trend. It's what's been happening for about 6 months now here, guys. So look, we're going to remain bullish. We're going to stick to focusing on the RRR setup, the bread and butter. It's popping off, guys. Let's jump into the list. We got Celsius. We're getting our first real pullback after the gap up. We're watching this. Okay, we're going to look for an entry. We're getting a retracement reaction. We're looking for a reaction. We've not gotten it yet, but we want a reaction or a show of strength at or around our levels, and then we'd like to see it get pushed back over the short-term moving average, and that would be a trigger for our bread and butter RRR, okay? And Palantir, same deal, hanging out right here, consolidating, going sideways up over the 9 would be a trigger. I think I'd like to see it close, or at least a good strong push over maybe this range here. Let me go ahead and mark that out for you. I'd like to see it maybe push up over this range, and if it's strong out of the gate, you know, we'll let it go, pull back, show strength, then push back towards intraday highs could be a trigger there. But we're watching Palantir. Maybe we get a bit squeezy on this guy again. HWM, I like the sector. All right, there's been some flow into the aerospace sector, right? So we're looking for this guy to clear range, get back over the 50 and push up towards recent highs would be our trade there. And I think we could certainly look for a quick 2-to-1 out of that trade. I'd probably have my stop just below the 9. Would seem good enough to me. I don't see why we need to get it all the way below this swing low. If this is going to go, then I think just below the 9 is good enough. And we are going to be looking for all-time highs out of that trade if we take it. I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but I do like it, right? It's setting up, okay? So you got to swing the bat on some of these. You can't take them all, right? You've got to align it with, first of all, your risk profile, okay? Maybe narrative, sector flow, right? Try to identify where the money is flowing into and use that to even further narrow down our selected stocks. OKLO is looking good. Okay, we've got another swing low that looks to be holding, getting a reaction at or around our level over the 9 here would be a trigger for me on OKLO in a strong sector. We've got DDOG still holding up above the 200, right? Pulled back, tested the 200, pushed over the 50, pulled back again, right? So this could be a bit of a shake and go setup. If we can break through this structure, then I think we've got some potential here. So I would look for over the 50 first, and then maybe even to break and hold this structure. I wouldn't rush this one, okay? It seems to shake a lot, so I would maybe expect a bit of a breakout and then a pullback and a show of strength on that pullback. Could be a buy trigger for me here on DDOG. I'll be watching. And we've got DraftKings. So this is something that can be strong this time of the year with the NFL season starting, sports betting picking up, and we've got what looks to be a possible box breakout here. Okay, so we've been consolidating sideways for at least 6 months, and what I look for here is a measured move coming out of this range, and you can mark your price range of the box and then also the time range, and you can look for these things to repeat. Let's shorten that one up just a bit. You can look for these things to repeat, and so what I'm looking at here, typically I like to let these break out, pull back, retest, and show strength. Where you saw it did it here, it never did so we never had a trigger. But a lot of times I like to let these break out of the box, pull back, show strength, and then push back up, and then your buy signal would be on that show of strength off of the pullback, right? Holding a key level, which here would be the box breakout level. Okay, so it would pull back, test that key level, hold it, show strength at that level, and then we would buy that show of strength as it pushes higher. But here on this one, I like a little bit, possibly, I may like to take a maybe a starter, maybe a quarter or half size anticipation play as we come and test this 50. If we can show some strength and look like it wants to push back up, I like the idea of getting a starter for it to break out of the box and then let that other scenario we just talked about play out, okay? And we would go full size, maybe in that range there, okay? That would be the trade idea for DraftKings pay. Still on watch here, guys. I like the 1 month on this a lot, okay? Look at all this good volume. We've got an IPO cycle cup and handle playing out here, okay? We're struggling to break out of that range, but we're pulling back a bit. I think over the 9 is worth a shot, and it's, again, sort of one of those, it's not a box breakout. This is a IPO cycle, but it's, again, a measured move, right? So the idea would be that if this does break out, okay, the idea would be you've got your price range and your time range, and you look for that to repeat. And guys, go look at the leaders and how many times this happens, okay? They IPO, they sell off, you get share lockup, whatever the reason may be, they put in a cycle, right? They break out, and then a lot of times you will see the price range repeat to the upside after that breakout, and approximately the same amount of time. But we've got some accumulation patterns here. We're in a great trend. So a pullback to the 50 would be fine for me here, but I am looking to anticipate this box breakout as well. And same deal, I would probably go quarter to half size and then load up on the breakout retest. All right, so that is on the radar for pay. We've got OUST is a triple R setup here, and we've got a strong stock and a trend backed by growing fundamentals. We see obvious positioning by Wall Street in this. It is a leader. We've got strong RS, as strong as it gets. It's 99 RS, okay? So guys, we get a retracement, a reaction at or around our level, and a remount of the 9 is a trigger here. Tried to do it yesterday. It did not, it failed. So what I would look for, I would say, is a push through yesterday's high as my trigger on OUST. And then we've got just a couple more here. Semis seem to be heating up just a bit, 8 SMH. Okay, so if semis can break out of this range here that it's been in to the upside, then I would really like to see semis participate in the move to solidify the next trend, the next push higher in the broader markets. Semiconductors make up 11% of the SPY, so them participating, I would say, is key to sustaining a trend. Okay, it would at least be quite helpful, of course, right? So you know, ALAB was a big semi yesterday, breaking out, but NVIDIA seems to be shaping back up here. I think over these moving averages, I think we test recent highs and possibly push to all-time highs again on NVIDIA. Another one just sort of like Palantir, known to squeeze, backed by, you know, I mean, this is the strongest company in the world right now. You know, it just is. So guys, if we get back over the short term and the 50-day, I think that is a slam dunk trigger. You got to take it. You got to swing that bat. KKR, we're looking for a little more strength out of financials here. We'll jump into the ETF for banks and for financials, right? And we can see this has been leading, and we had quite the pullback this past Friday, but you know, same deal. We're getting a retracement on a leader, and we're looking to get a reaction at or around our level and a remount of the short term. If that happens in the ETF, then it would suggest that a lot of setups triggering in the stocks that make up the holdings of that ETF. But I would say one that I like here is KKR. Okay, so we've got a structure breakout possibly and a triple R setup. So over the 50 here on KKR, I like it a lot for a retest of recent highs and, well, all-time highs, I believe that would be, yes. So that's my list for today, guys. I'd say we're in a market risk profile, I gotta say C, okay, just because I need to get my confirmation. All right, I'd like to see new highs, and I'd like to see it sustain the trend, at least keep riding the 9 up. Okay, if we get a close below the 9, certainly would be in a risk profile C. C means I sit on my hands, right, and I look to position on the next pullback, right, the next show of strength. But I think some strength today would roll me into a B. I would be open to putting on another position. And you know, if we do get some sustained strength throughout this week, we've got a couple eco events that are going to shake us up with some volatility. But if we get good reports, good reactions, more importantly, to those reports, then I'm all right with rolling into a risk profile A, and I might consider going up into, you know, some more full-size positions and maxing out my personal risk tolerance. Risk profile would be 50-60% of my portfolio, guys. I use options for leverage, so that is more than enough exposure to allow me to sleep at night and still realize fantastic gains, which we have been doing all year. But we are off and running in the boot camp. It is going fantastically for a pilot. I couldn't be happier, and the feedback seems to be in line with that opinion. So guys, it's me leaning over your shoulder for 60 days. We do a ton of private sessions, group sessions, live markets. Everything is recorded so you can pace it at your own time, and then there is always that direct contact between me and you for at least 60 days. I'm sure, if you apply yourself, I'll stick with you, I'll roll with you for the long haul. But surely for at least 60 days, you've got me over your shoulder. You can ask me anything. I do direct video feedback. I am still running it at the pilot price of only $250. It's a killer freaking deal. Guys, I'll teach you everything I've learned in the last 10 years of the markets and what has gotten me to be a top 0.1% trader, on pace to triple my account this year using simple continuation patterns, trading with market structure. We do not outsmart the market, okay? We do not predict, we react. And I will teach you everything in 60 days. Streamline your learning curves. The market is a brutal teacher. I suggest you find a coach, whether that be me or anyone, if you're spinning tires or struggling to find prolonged success in these markets, guys. Don't lose all your damn money, okay? Get someone that can lean over your shoulder and teach you an edge you can leverage for the rest of your life. So guys, we got a small, but I'd say a pretty good list here today. A couple nice names in here, and we're just looking for a little bit more validation out of the markets. And if we get it, then we'll roll up into a risk profile B, possibly even A. We'll go make some money. Guys, stay safe and respect your risk.